My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I reject you from being a priest to me, and since you have forgotten the law of your God, I also will forget your children.
That is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Welcome to Reform Labs, where we do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false teachers have gone out into the world. I am your host for today, Kanoa Benz, and this is the Reform Roundish Table, to where we talk about many things, and we have many discussions over a lot of topics. And today, that kind of the scripture that goes to mind is because when we reject God and we reject His standards and His rule,
Right.
we reject knowledge. And so there is a standard that God holds on that, and He says He will reject us if we do so. And so that's why we're talking about this stuff too today. What the topic says, you're going to see a lot of people rejecting knowledge and rejecting what God says, and therefore they will look silly. With that said, let me tell you who we have here today with us in our roundish table discussion. Across from me, we have the man with many talents and the voice of an angel and Fergie, whose dad wishes we called him Chad Hurchin, but here we call him Chad Randall.
Well, I can't switch to his camera.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, I can.
Perfect. I know.
I can.
I need more. I need more parents mad at me.
Well, okay, so Chad, you had tried to fiddle with the camera, but this is what we got.
Perfect.
You look fantastic, Chad.
Yes, all right.
Trust me, he's there.
What's wrong with you people?
He didn't pay for the premium of Reform Labs to get his shot in here.
You know, honestly, it looks just like when Adam was here, so it's like, we should have just kept it with Adam. You know?
All right. Well, let's. The one who's working to fix, so we can see Chad's lovely face. We have the man in the chair, the man with the beard, John Calvin, as said so by James White himself, the captain, Adrian Cookson.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
How are you doing today, Adrian?
Better than I deserve.
Yes, very. And
Even though
I'm
I'm a
glad
little frustrated, but, it is what it is.
And we can see your face. So,
Yes.
so that's good.
God does will it.
And
Media sovereign.
you might have heard of Scotty doesn't know, but here we have the man who knows things. Scotty does know. Scott, how are you? Just took my line.
Yeah,
I
he
am
did a better
blessed as
can
usual.
pop than you did.
And I know I wasn't on it today. I had, you can't
That's
see
a
some.
5-star can pop.
Thank you, sir.
The crickets are not necessary on that one.
Adrian really liked it. That's okay. I'll save that can pop. Scott, how are you doing today?
I am blessed as usual.
Awesome. And we had a good time picking up stuff at the gas station and watching a homeless fight break out.
A homeless people fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Now, with that said, Scott, tell us, what do you have for us today? Tell us what you know.
Oh, well, today I know that Donald Trump was arrested again in Fulton County, Georgia.
He is once again.
He is once again been arrested.
Oh, look at that mean mug shot.
Sorry, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Honorable Trump's mugshot there.
He looks great. He looks like the cover of Grand Theft Auto.
Nice.
If only we had that theme song.
Yeah, right.
The San Andreas theme song.
Okay, we kind of got you back.
There's Chad.
Just a
Oh,
little.
no. I mean, yay.
Just see him unplug.
So it's not just, but in this case, it's not just Trump. So as of right now, they're treating Trump and all of his associates like they're a crime family. Whenever we already have a crime family in office right now, we've got the Biden crime family and all of their stuff.
No,
going on.
wait a minute,
The
Scott.
Biden Mafia.
It's Kamala. Remember?
Yeah, it's all. Kamala's just. Kamala's just the scapegoat. Okay, like everyone. But anyways, so they're bringing.
There's so many things to say on that one, but sorry, go ahead.
They're bringing a RICO case on for Trump and his associates, like Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, have all surrendered to charges, and I believe they're all out on bail right now. But it's just it's weird because anybody who knows like what the RICO statute is, it was meant to bring down organized crime. It was meant to bring down the mob, and I believe Rudy Giuliani was actually one of the like original people to like form that RICO statute, and now they're using it against him, which I think is very very crazy. But
Yeah.
That's that is. But also, do we? And I don't know if we have the video of it, so you can stop me if I'm getting ahead of myself on there. But I don't think the whole arresting of Donald Trump worked out in their favor.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like,
did you see the size of the crowd of people that showed up
Right.
in Fulton?
I needed to find that video.
And I might add that Fulton, not a very big fan of Trump. Fulton County did not vote for Trump, and
They are now.
You've got, but you've got these large crowds of people, and even most of them from the African American community. So there you go. He's definitely got the black vote.
Right. Well, and
around.
then that's what was, they at first they thought they were all coming out to, like celebrate him going to prison. But then when they started, Trump. Yeah. Then all, it did not go how they thought it was. It literally like backfired on them. And then the memes coming out of Trump they have Trump. They're sitting there going, Trump's one of us now.
Mm-hmm. So they arrest Trump. They do the old mugshot treatment, and and he gets well received in an area that did not primarily vote for him in the last election cycle.
Well, and a lot of them were also saying that they could that they were relating to him doing
Right.
that because they were saying he was screwed by the system.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another point that Charlie Kirk made on his show too, is that it's because they're all flocking to him now because they're realizing, people are waking up. They're realizing now that he was right. Like he exposed this like system that's rigged against the people, and people are starting to see that now.
Well, and it also doesn't help is when you have the current president blaming everything
And
on
blaming-
an African American woman. They're like,
and then so Trump gets that kind of reaction in an area that was not friendly to him originally, but then you've got Hawaii, which we talked about this earlier
Right.
today. You got Hawaii that has never voted Republican in my lifetime. They have strictly voted Democrat for decades. And Biden shows up in Maui 3 weeks after the fires.
yeah.
And
Like
that's whenever he decides to show up, and we have a clip of like the day before of how he was going to be received.
Adrian, are you ready with that clip? If not, then Biden going to showing up to
the
Maui. If you're not ready with that, go ahead, throw it. All right, you got it.
Yes.
Okay.
It is this one.
Let's go.
Okay, gotta get the mouse over there. There we go.
They got to Ukraine quicker than they got to their own state.
The first that any of you guys heard from President Biden was after the rest of the mainland knew that the fires were going on, that there was this chaos, this tumult, this tremendous loss of life. What do you say when the President of the United States says no comment and then goes bicycling?
What he's not doing, actually, for the citizens of this country, for the citizens of Maui and Lahaina, it's completely disrespectful. And now he's going to be coming here tomorrow, and all of a sudden it's going to clog up the roads. They're not going to let anybody through. It's going to slow everything down just so he can come in and take a look and do nothing yet again. So it's ridiculous. It's nonsense.
Let me just say straight to you, President Biden, I pray for your soul. Just repent from your posturing and your lack of integrity and your lack of compassion.
When you're the president of the United States of America, you have to know what's going on. You know, you got all these people that surround, supposed to be advising you what's going on. For you to say something like no comment, I don't know. I can't even respond to such comment.
We have the largest Marine base in the world, the largest Navy fleet right there. We can see the island. It could have been here in 12 hours.
You think that if he wanted to, the president of the United States or one of his chiefs of staff could have ordered military assistance from Pearl Harbor and the U.S. Pacific Fleet?
There's no question they could have done that. They did it for Ukraine way quicker than the response here in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's
No.
What is that?
I have no clue, and I don't care. Let's close that out.
All right.
Technical
with the silver-
difficulties.
Oh, turn it off, turn it off. I was like, is that Lizzo? No, sorry.
No,
All right.
there's no squealing.
All right, but here's the
we
thing
don't show pictures of Lizzo around here. We have standards. Thank you.
we have high standards. Thank you. But and notice what they said on that one. They have the biggest military thing. That was the whole point with taking Hawaii, is they wanted the military there. I was going over some of the history with the guys, and with Scott when we were driving over, and that is something for the Hawaiian people. Know your history, okay? Hawaii has a big Christian nationalism type history, and here's the thing, okay? They've been bought by the Democratic Party by saying, oh, well, Hawaii was indeed an illegal takeover when you had Bill Clinton in charge, and he was, announced that, yes, it was an illegal takeover. No, we are not giving you guys your own sovereignty, though. But we'll give you some money. Just keep us voted in. And have, for us Hawaiians that have what they call, you have to have the certain percentage of blood, Hawaiian heritage blood, to get that money. And once again, that goes totally against Hawaiian history on who gets to decide who's Hawaii, is how it would be said. But once again, we are letting the mainlanders decide who gets to be called Hawaiian. Think about it. But and it's been working because, as Scott said, then what happens? The Hawaiian people have continuously voted in. Why?
I mean, they've been voting Democrat since 1984. The last time they voted for a Republican was Ronald Reagan in 1984.
Right. And again, and why is that? Because they use the same tactics. It's almost like what the Republicans use the pro-life movement for. You guys know how we feel about that. Vote for us, we'll end abortion. Well, it's still going on in Missouri. We have the video footage of Adrian confronting one of the senators in Missouri.
Incredible video, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And you guys see, vote for us. We're pro-life. We'll end abortion, and they don't. Same thing for the Hawaiian people. Vote for us. We'll give you that money. Will they though? I don't think so. But yeah, and so of course the Hawaiian people, and then you have Biden coming out and saying, "Oh, well, yeah, tell us about the horrific fires." And I was talking to relatives over there, and they were talking about how, and I don't know if you guys have probably seen the TikTok videos or whatever that's posted up, to where you see people videotaping them trying to escape, and they're driving past. There's a person laying that's dead on the ground, and they're driving past that. You know what I mean? That is insane. And all you have to say is no comment.
Yeah.
Like, at least say something like, it's terrible. I'm sorry for the people. No comment. Like, you don't have your advisory team that goes, just say this. And maybe they were doing that, but I don't. It's pretty crazy.
So you got like our current president, who is supposed to be the leader of the free world, who says no comment when people's homes are burning. But you've got Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Donald Trump paid and got all of this like food and supplies and like medical supplies and all that stuff sent it to East Palestine. Did you guys like after that? Like you remember that train crash?
Right.
Like with all that nuclear waste on it that like poisoned their water supply and all of that. So
look how fast Trump was able to mobilize.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, they made a good point. Was they have a big Navy base over there in Pearl Harbor. All right, that was and that was the big thing for the taking of Hawaii. If you know Hawaii history, they wanted that, and they couldn't send anything over. Nobody could, not even just a small boat or something. Like that's something. Yeah. Something doesn't. What were you thinking?
I just think it's terrible. I was kind of agreeing with you. At least say something.
Right.
Like the no comment is just such a slap in the face to all the people.
Right.
Because especially when you were describing all the horrific videos and stuff that's coming out. Yeah, at least acknowledge. And acknowledge that it is a terrible thing.
Again,
you're grieving with them.
Hawaiian history, okay? The whole for the as they would refer to as the white man comes over and takes Hawaii. Okay. Oh, it'll be better for Hawaii. It'll be better for Hawaii if we have our Navy base there. It'll be better for the Hawaiian people if we have this. It'll be better for the Hawaiian people. This is why they get mad. All right. This is why they get mad. Is because again, if you know the history, is you have somebody else come over and go, oh, this will be better for you guys, and then they end up getting screwed over.
Sorry.
What is going on?
It's a preview for later.
And so again,
that was the Bill Gates
That was
video.
like the biggest church thing ever, to where all of a sudden you hear a random sound, you immediately everybody in the pews at church look back at the soundboard guy, and he's like, "It was not my fault."
Interference.
But all right, getting back on track with it. Okay, again, you see the Hawaiian people over and over. If you guys learn the Hawaiian history on it, what happened to them and how Hawaii was illegally taken over. It is always this will be better for you guys if we do this. This will be better for you guys, and it hasn't. And that's why there is a group in Hawaii that's trying to fight to get Hawaii back. Do I think it would here's the thing is though, if it should in that situation it should have benefited Hawaii for that military presence of being there. That should have benefited Hawaii. Could have benefited Hawaii, in saving the people on Lahaina. They could somebody had to be in charge that said, hey, this isn't right. And that's what we need. For a lot of Christians that are backing out of the military, backing out of stuff, no, we need Christian people in those positions to where when something's not right, they're saying, this is not right, we need to take action and to do it. That's what we need. What are you thinking?
I think it's a little up to interpretation as far as whether or not it did or did not benefit Hawaii. With this right here, this is
right. This situation should have benefited them. Yeah, that military presence.
We should have been able to assist them.
Right.
Especially as much as we're assisting completely other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we've sent so much money, out of country for assistance, and
and then Hawaii were
nah.
And in the meantime, we're sending all of this money to Ukraine, which why? What exactly. do we really need to support Ukraine? They talked about this in the debate, I think, and we'll get to that later, but Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley going back and forth about whether we should be supporting Ukraine or not. And personally, I don't believe that we should. I think that they should.
Right. I think they're and there has to be something. There has to be something done for the American people, because if we're not taking care of our own and we're neglecting our own, and then taking care of somebody else, the Bible has standards on that, even for giving us the view of a family. If the husband is not providing for the family, and he's abandoning his family, could you imagine that? If, and you guys that are married, and have kids or soon to have a kid, for Scott and Rose, people, if you all of a sudden started getting money, and you started giving it to some other family, and you were neglecting your family, your
That's
neighbors, they would look and say, hey, this is not right. But if you are taking care of your family, and then you are giving money to helping out, then it's applauded. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't want to be immediately cut off and say, sorry, Ukraine, no, nothing. Because we are given the charge to do unto others that we would want done for us. And if we were in a struggling situation, we would want somebody to send us resources and help and aid. But what that said is, but not at the expense of harming your own people. Okay, I think that's the standard. Just like what I said, we see it with the family. If you're neglecting your family and deliberately hurting your family to help somebody else, there's something off there. So I don't know your guys, your thoughts on that, but that is still, it's a great point for that guy to bring up and say, hey, look how fast they're able to send over to Ukraine, and we're the neighbor across the street. You know what I mean? And
sometimes, I would tell people, like, I would go up to like Trump supporters, people would be wearing like MAGA hats and stuff like that, and I'd walk up to them and I'd say, like, I'd be like, hey, so what do you like about Trump? And I get a lot of the same reaction. It's like, because he puts the interests of the American people first before anything else.
Right.
And that is 100% true. I mean, you look at how he handled foreign policy when he was in office, and things were much better. We had
called Kim Jong-un fat.
Compared him to Winnie the Pooh.
I mean, you look at Kim Jong-un, like you just said, he kept launching missiles at as much, and then Trump basically just told him, like, hey, stop that.
Right.
And it stopped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What do? You go over to the guy's house and you make a fat joke at him. So, it affects the guy.
It's like Biden saying, listen here, fat.
And it did is because he lost weight after that.
Yeah, he did. He did.
What did he call me? He called you husky.
You know what he did? It's he what his diet consisted of is he just decided to switch to the like North Korean countryside diet. He just started eating sawdust, and all that weight just flew off. But yeah, so that's the situation with Kim Jong-un. But you look at under the Trump administration, everything was fine with Russia. Russia wasn't invading Ukraine.
Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
Well, and I think and it's kind of like, if you think about it in their position, they're sitting there going, okay, this guy might actually do something. Like when you have Trump by the button going, I'm gonna push it. I'll push it. Don't tell me, Putin. I'll do. Every time Putin tries to say something, but Trump, you know what I mean? That's that makes them think like, okay, if Trump says he's gonna do this, he might actually do it.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's like that second Austin Powers movie. Whenever he's like, whenever he just keeps cutting his son off, and it's like Putin starts to talk about Ukraine. It's just I'll have you know that I got a nice bag of codes right here in my pocket.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that it you can tell like the atmosphere is different with who's in charge of that, and that's when Christians, you got to pay attention to stuff like that, because as God says, how he punishes nations is he gives them wicked leaders, and that's what I don't know if we're ready to go over to talk about the debate stuff.
You can finish whatever you got to say.
And that's why this stuff does matter, okay? And we have to pay attention to who we are voting in. And Christians, you got to get political, as we always say here. You get political because you already are. You say Jesus is king.
Yep,
okay?
that's the most political thing you can say.
And so therefore, start paying attention to this stuff, okay? I, over the years, had to start paying attention because I used to not care. And, it's, now with realizing that this stuff does matter, and having that viewpoint and having that post-millennial viewpoint of, okay, if, we can't sit around and say, okay, the rapture's coming any day now, because sorry to break it to you, but it's not. And so this stuff does matter. And so and you might not like Trump, you might not like the stuff. Okay, that's they're not Christian. Yeah, that's fine. But we're in a situation now to where we have to, we have our options as Trump, a Hindu. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's because that's how bad it is. That's how far down we are. And so we have to look at who's going to get us to the next level. Who's going to look at what worldview is going to closely uphold God's laws and standards, and allow Christians to be able to speak freely, to be able to push for that stuff. When me and Adrian are going out to the Capitol and we're going into talking to the senators, which worldview, which party is most likely to allow us to do that and not get us thrown into jail while we're praying outside of a clinic or preaching outside of a abortion clinic? Just a thought.
And yeah, I made that point Thursday when we were talking. I said because Adam said something about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I said I would much rather have a Hindu president than a Democrat, than any Democrat.
Depending on going off of their view, because immediately when you have when people ask me, would you vote? Well, let's look at that party side I'm picking. Okay, immediately pro-choice. Sorry, that's
right.
And that's why again
that's the majority of Democrats is that they're all on the pro-choice side.
And for some of them that are not, because I know there was 2 Democrats that were actually saying they were.
I mean, you
abortion.
could argue that RFK Jr. I don't know. He hasn't really brought the issue up. He has not brought the abortion issue up already. But my issue with RFK Jr. is that I'm worried that he might get the nomination because we already know that even the Democrats are tired of Biden. They're not going to give him the nomination.
Yeah, it's bad as when gang members. I don't know if you guys saw the video I sent up. It literally showed gang members in St. Louis that were like, this is awful. They're like, we want to ride around. They're holding guns. They're like, we want to ride around. So we can't do that because gas prices are too high. It wasn't like that when we had Trump.
Yeah, they got into politics when gas nearly doubled.
Yeah, right? we can't do a drive-by without paying a lot of money. I'm paying out of pocket just to go down and shoot my.
It's like $2 a round.
But my issue with RFK Jr. is that we all know that a lot of boomers they liked John F. Kennedy, and I think RFK Jr.'s pulling on the heartstrings of a lot of boomers right now, and that's the thing that kind of makes me fear him because he's gonna say all of this stuff just to get elected, and then he's not gonna do anything when he gets in.
Look at Hawaiian history. And the same with the pro-lifers, though. The pro-lifers do the same thing. All they do is wave the pro-life flag, and then all of a sudden people immediately flock to them. We can't do that anymore. We have to watch that stuff. And the other side of the argument too is it's not just okay. Let's say they're not pro-choice. Cool. Well, what are they for? If they're going to push socialism and stuff like that, that goes against God's word. And that's why Christians, you got to understand God's law and to learn about that. And we have videos on that and teaching that. So make sure you check them out. So not to repeat the same stuff over, but that's why we have to have a standard by which we can, by how we decide on who we're picking and who's at least the closest or who's going to move us forward in the fight.
But to go along with that socialism thing that you just brought up, you made a great point a couple weeks ago about socialism. It was something along the lines of socialism is a political ideology that is focused on coveting. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
It's any kind of view that says we need to take from that person. We want that person's stuff or even a push of we want the rich people. We want to go after that. That's coveting. God says do not cover your neighbor's belonging and then it goes down to say or anything of your neighbors. The moment we start having this want and of somebody else's stuff, they need to be paying. We need to be getting more of that stuff. They need to be given to us. That's where it starts.
They start to control every aspect of your life, like the car that you drive, what you eat, what you can't do, what you can sing, what you can or cannot dance.
Right. And here's the thing: is at the end of the day,
that's a good segue.
The Bible presupposes. Okay, the Bible.
No, I was talking about
the Bible presupposes that we have ownership over stuff. So any kind of view that says we don't own anything and you'll be happy, sorry, that goes against what God's laws have, because that's the whole purpose of God's laws when they talk about stealing, is it's presupposing that you have ownership of stuff.
Right.
So that's kind of, and you guys can see when I'm looking at a candidate and what they're saying is I'm have God's law, because that is the standard. If you don't use God's law as standard, as we were talking about in the car, is then you forfeit all knowledge.
Hashtag that theonomy.
Yeah, that theonomy. Hashtag that presupposition. you lose all that the moment you try to reject God. And so you have to have a standard by which you apply on your politics. And that's why we're saying, hey, pay attention to these stuff and open up those Bibles. What do we got? What is our
next one is so the Biden DOJ throws the book at this is from the Daily Wire. So former Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio was sentenced this week to more than 20 years behind bars in connection to the breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Now,
Man,
the thing that I find strange about this is that I did a little research into this case, and this Enrique Tarrio was not even in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
what?
during the insurrection. He was not even there.
Was this like an
And they
AOC kind of thing?
Yeah.
You were in a totally different building.
Yeah, except for he wasn't on
He was
social
a- he
media
was-
talking about how it like affected
He
his
was in a
life.
totally
Yeah.
he was in a totally different state,
Yeah.
and they're charging him in connection to January 6th.
He didn't even cross state lines.
It does not make sense to me, and this just goes to show, this is just proof that that the Biden DOJ is literally going against the Constitution. Like this is just proof that they are abusing the power of our justice system.
What were your thoughts? You look like
Well, yeah, the reason why they're like going after him though is like they're like saying he said some stuff on social media, but like I mean, even if like I don't know, I just feel like freedom of speech, like
Right.
should cover that, and he wasn't like it wasn't anything like inciting violence.
right. I
It was
was gonna
completely
say, unless,
after the
yeah,
fact.
unless he's
and then they
inciting
just,
violence, and
yes,
And he
so
wasn't.
didn't say anything illegal. He didn't, or anything like that. And I forget the exact like the stuff he said on social media that they didn't like, but I just know it wasn't like inciting violence. But that was their justification was because he said some stuff on social media, and it's like.
Those
And
words
people
were
took
violent.
it a certain way.
Yeah.
He said some stuff. People took it a certain
he said
way.
something that was true.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. He said he wanted a peace, no protest.
Yeah, you said be peaceful.
Oh, I actually found the tweet.
Okay,
Oh,
So
nice.
Way to go, Scott.
he reportedly said, "It's not fair. It's just not right that it's not the justice system that you grew up in a civics class learning about." That's the tweet that they're going after him for.
A terrible offense.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with you people?
Right. Say that one more time. What was it?
So hold on.
Sorry. I wasn't fast on the draw.
He said it's not fair. I think he's commenting on the Donald Trump arrest. So the tweet says it's not fair. It's just not right. It's not the justice system that you grew up in civics class learning about.
Okay. Well, whoa.
Yeah.
Lock him up.
Yeah, I think the thing he got was like related to the January 6th stuff, but that I was at least from what I was reading. I do apologize.
You mean the worst day in American history?
The worst
Oh.
day. Where were you?
According to
Where were you?
who was it that said that it was apparently worse than 9/11?
Yeah. Who said
Worse.
that? I remember that.
I don't know. I remember.
I'm like, let me
sounds
add
like-
that
that
to
sounds
the
like
list
a-
of the dumbest things I've ever
That
heard.
sounds like a crying Chuck Schumer.
It was
line.
9/11 without jet
This is
fuel.
9/11 all over again.
Yeah.
Oh my. AOC, is it a thing?
AOC.
I was on the
I
third
was-
floor.
Yeah, I was in the tower that day. What? Stupid. What else we got?
Wrong building, AOC. Wrong building.
Where do you? Yeah. Wrong.
I was in the third tower.
There were only two.
Yes.
Sorry, AOC.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Okay, so you guys are gonna get a kick out of this one every bit as much as I did. So, defund the police Democrat gets violently attacked. Now demands holding criminals accountable.
I did hear that one. Yeah.
Wait,
that
what?
was-
I saw it.
Yeah.
God, was it?
So Minnesota official who championed defunding the police during the George Floyd riots has since changed her position after being violently attacked this week. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name.
It's okay. You'll just sound Hawaiian.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah, my hand wasn't on it.
She said, quote, 4 very young men, all carrying guns, beat me violently down to the ground in front of our kids. The young men held our neighbors up at gunpoint when they ran over and tried to help me. None of this makes any sense. All in broad daylight.
Was this Chicago?
All in broad
this must
daylight.
have been in Chicago.
Chicago.
Wait, she said none of this makes any sense, or you're
No,
saying?
I'm saying that none of this makes any sense. This is all her quote, but none of this is adding up. This is all like her stuff that she put
like
on
Smollett.
social media.
It's like
Jesse.
It's like AOC talking about that when she's at a tragedy.
Yeah.
So wait, was she even in the neighborhood that all that was happening?
Well, yeah.
Like, she got attacked.
No, it's not. It's not actually AOC. But yeah. Well, okay. And here's again: defund the police. Defund the police. Oh, now that I need them. Yeah. Oh, hey, where's those police at?
Yeah.
Oh, did we get rid of them all? Like, you have, and that's why you can't just say we need to tear down something. We need to get rid of something, without having a solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's my dog over there that you guys are hearing squeaking. Sorry. All right. But it's gonna delay, so my wife will hear that. Let's talk about it in a second. I'll also go running over there. But and that's the thing is for Christians is we provide a solution. We say, hey, if you want this, this is how it needs to be applied. You want to hold police accountable? We have to have God's law as the standard. You can't have a half and half thing. You can't some of God's law and some not. That's what America's already doing, and how's that working out? So God makes His law and to how it applies to society. He makes it in a way to where you can't just use some of it. You have to have all of it, or what happens? You have a man-made system that won't work.
Hot take.
And so with that, with her situation of her going defund the police, well, what's the solution? Okay, yeah, we can say that there's a problem with the police and stuff. Okay, what's the solution? And we have to bring that. And me and Adrian talked about how that stuff holds, and how to hold officers. When we engage with police officers when we're out at the clinic, we immediately, when they come over and they have to come over because they're called, they get called on us and stuff, and they know us and stuff, and we come over and I say the same thing every time. Is I remind them. I said, hey. I just want you to remember that your job is actually ordained by God. And here's what your job is supposed to. You're to uphold justice and stuff. And I just quote that scripture and remind them, and then say, hey, I'm praying for you.
Now let me off with a warning.
Yeah. Now about that speeding ticket.
Yeah, about that speeding. Yeah, I really think it would be like I think we should do like a standardized like when you learn about driving, there should be like a standardized system that they use when police are like pulling people over, like a certain set of things that you should do, and kind of teach that so that way like people know exactly what to expect and how to act, and how not to act, so that way they know like, okay, this is gonna have adverse reactions if I act this way, or I have my hands.
Are those not in driving
certain
manuals?
Place, you know what I mean? What?
Are those not in driving manuals?
I don't remember.
Yeah, definitely not.
Right. Yeah.
They are not.
No.
And especially also the more and more people having cameras in their cars and stuff like that. It's helpful, and there's a lot of guys that are trying to they try to have systems to where they say, hey, hold your hands like so, and do this and do that, and that's helpful. But I agree with what Chad said. There might be a universal thing is, hey, when you go and get your test, it's part of the test that you have to answer is when pulled over by a police officer, and that way police officers also know what to. And it's going to take time. They're not going to all even let's say we started that tomorrow. You have to also have the training that the police officers know.
And I think another thing that you should definitely tell people too is like, if you have a concealed carry in your and if you have it in your car, tell the officer that. Don't just let them assume, because that's how people get hurt. If you're carrying and you have one in the car, let them know that when they first get up to the window. Like, I would say keep both hands on the wheel, and then whenever they come up to the window, you just say like, "Hey, officer, I just wanted to let you know I do have a concealed carry in my car. It's in my glove box, separated from the ammo." That would be my go-to thing if I.
Right. Well, and normally what I do when pulled over, and me being a Hawaiian dealing with these these white men. Same
Well,
thing.
You're being profiled already. So.
Well, all right, and it's funny that you say that because Adrian was with me, and he's like, "Can you step?" He's like, "Can you step out of the vehicle?" He didn't have Adrian step out of the vehicle. Adrian got to sit in the vehicle, and he had me step. Sir, can you step out of the vehicle?
Yeah, the officer asked if I was okay.
He put me in the police car and left Adrian in the car.
You're gonna be okay.
He actually asked Adrian. He's like, "Hey, do you want to drive the car?" No.
You want to turn on my sirens?
He's like, "Don't worry, I have the Hawaiian and the thing."
Oh, man.
You're safe now.
Treats you like a little kid.
Yeah.
You want to play with the sirens?
Right. I'm sitting there going, "This is kind of weird."
And you're like, "Woo!"
You want to play with the megaphone?
I wasn't doing anything
Hold
wrong,
on.
so I didn't question it.
Hold on, I
just
think I
was
got
like,
a car
okay.
seat in the back. Too.
He's over the intercom. No, this is so cool.
As I'm handcuffed in the front.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So Adrian was a witness of it. So just remember that, and he got to enjoy the time while I'm sitting there going, "What is going on?"
Yeah, but like the problem with
But I agree
the
with what
people,
you're saying, yeah.
and the problem with the people that teach that stuff is the only people that are like going out and viewing their content are the people that are like actively thinking about this. So like the problem is with the people that who don't think about that kind of stuff. That's
Right.
not even like in their like
And
they
they
just
get
don't even think
surprised
about
by
that
it.
stuff. Yeah, they don't think about like maybe getting pulled over or like maybe I should carry myself this way whenever dealing with some like a police officer, because they see all kinds of things every day. They have
Right.
to be on alert because
and that's how it is for me as me and Mattia, my wife, we work as personal assistants for a 31-year-old with autism. Right, that's something that we think, because of that one incident, where the guy was trying to yell, "Hey, he's autistic," and that situation and stuff, and we have to think about that. Okay, what happens if we get pulled over and we have him in the vehicle with us? Okay, I immediately already have a plan, and we work with his parents and stuff, and they have a card in there that kind of like a ID thing that tells them, like, explains the situation and stuff, and so we know when that police officer goes to the window, we have to immediately say, like, "Hey, just so you know, the gentleman in the back," because you wouldn't be able to pick it up just by looking at him that he has autism. And he looks like a regular reformed guy, beard and everything. But he doesn't look Hawaiian, so he'd probably get to go play with Adrian in the cop car. But you know what I mean. So that's something to think about. And you're right. And that's probably what runs into situations. People that don't think about that stuff, or they already presuppose that this officer is here to harm them and here to do stuff. And so think about that. If you're already going through the mindset, is this dude's here to do me harm? And maybe it is just like our situation where can you step out of the car? We didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Like I thought I was like, oh, maybe I was speeding or whatever, and it turns out I was going 5 under. All right, when we were pulling out of the thing and going. Okay. Now there's a factor in that explained that made it a little bit more clear, but then the police officer started getting nervous too, because he realized it wasn't a good pullover, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out why we're getting pulled over, so we were both acting a little weird, and so it was making the situation worse. But I was thinking if I already had in the mind that this police officer's pulling me over and he's probably wanting to just do harm. I'm not even doing anything. He's probably, how would that?
Because the way you look.
Yes, and so how is that going to, how's that going to affect my conversation with? How is that going to be, my hands are moving around because I'm getting frustrated and stuff like that, sliding stuff, and it's that, and he's already nervous because let's say he did, pull over because and I'll just explain why he did that. So we were, I was picking up Adrian and I was babysitting my nephew. Okay, so he was sitting in the car in the back. Well, of course, we didn't notice that until later on. There was an Amber Alert for a small boy that got taken. All right, and I think it wasn't like 2 guys or something like that. And so we fit the the description of it. And so the police officer all of a sudden saw us immediately and just whipped around. We weren't even that's why. But I didn't see that. So that's why I was getting a little frustrated with the guy. Like, he's not explaining why he is pulling us over. And he kept saying, like, he kept going, oh, yeah, you guys seemed like you guys were going fast. And I'm sitting here going, we were going under, And so I'm sitting here going, like, and he just kept asking all these weird questions. And also he's like, can you step out of the vehicle? And so I'm like, and I'm not doing anything wrong, so, I did and stuff. But could you imagine if that, how I was thinking in that is, and I'm getting frustrated and I'm moving and stuff, and he's getting nervous because he either realizes I made a bad stop or now this guy's acting,
or you're acting really suspicious.
It could escalate.
Or questionable.
And it could. And I was only nervous because I couldn't pull up our insurance thing, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh my gosh, this guy got me." On like I'm gonna wind up can't prove my insurance. He's gonna get me for that, and so I'm sitting there getting nervous trying to pull up my insurance.
Stealing children.
And he's sitting there going, these guys could be stealing. This guy has the poor white man in the car and this kid in the back. I need to remove him from the situation and ask if the white guy's okay. So, but and so
where is he?
So,
Jake from State Farm's not here.
Where is he? But that does affect, and so it's something to think about too. And you're right, there we need to have something in play like that to where it's automatically, if you're going for getting your permit, getting your license, that's something that you need.
I did find something. So if you are in the state of Missouri, it's straight from the Department of Revenue website. What to do if you're pulled over.
Right, but do they have it in the test?
Yeah.
And
I was
the
saying
test,
they should standardize
okay,
it for
so
everybody.
test,
yeah. So
I agree with that. But if it's
what young adult looks in the
if it's in the driver's manual, then I mean,
right.
they should read it regardless if
right.
if they know it's going to be on the test or not.
Right.
But I mean, the resources are available.
It should be. What we're saying, and I think what Chad was saying, it was correct me if I'm wrong.
Make it part of the test.
Make it part of the test. Because then you have to force it.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
All right, what's next, Scotty?
So I don't know if you guys heard this, but that 70s show actor Danny Masterson sentenced to 30 years to life on 2 counts of rape.
Wow.
This was an interesting.
He got.
one for me,
I will say he got too long of a sentence.
Right.
I think so too.
Because
God's law is clear on that one too.
Death penalty.
That would have stopped the Rosenbaum thing. We talk about that a lot too with that.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, this guy. I wish we had a picture of it. Let's look at what his character was. All right, like I feel like it's like one of those like the Joker thing. You play the part so you become the part.
Well,
like,
I mean he primarily plays characters that are just like degenerates.
Which character was he?
Stephen Hyde.
The curly-haired one, look typical stoner.
That face exactly when he's.
That makes me sad.
Oh. Yeah. So
the ginger.
The ginger.
Okay, but let's look at how about the actors that play the Flash? Like.
Oh right, yeah. And I forgot. I mean, I know that Ezra Miller is a weirdo, but.
Yeah, the other guy.
But I was
too.
surprised the other day. You guys were talking about Grant Gustin, the Flash from the TV show, and
when the Flash.
I don't even know what he did. Like that one.
Yeah, look it up. It's pretty weird. But what? Yeah, that's. And again, we have this. This could be another rant on one, so I'm gonna try and refrain from doing that, but. Again, with society, we have to have just punishments for the crimes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's why we're battling for the equal protection of it. Is because if you don't have correct and true and just punishments for the crimes, you're gonna. God said this is how you deal with this. So if we try to do something that else from what God says, do we really think it's gonna work? And because God said if you hold it this way, all right. Then this will keep this down. This will prevent this from happening. It won't, ultimately stop it, but it will make the numbers go down. And we look at God and go, no, thanks, we're going to try it our way because we want to be more compassionate or we want to be more, and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys hear that in Missouri, just recently, I think it was like a day or two ago, that they now made it illegal to hold your phone while driving?
Yeah.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I know that's kind of local, but
right.
Well, that was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, nice. Because that's like...
I'm like, maybe somebody won't hit my truck now.
Because usually it's like texting and driving.
I only looked at my phone for a few seconds. And
yeah.
I'm like, that was my new truck, guy.
Yeah, I just think that's an interesting take, like just holding your phone, because I'm like, that's a good way to like get around like any kind of like, I wasn't texting or whatever, I was just holding it,
right, just holding the phone.
Yeah,
that's gonna disappoint a lot of Uber Eats, pick up Uber drivers, stuff. They're sitting there going like, well, I guess if they have it on.
Well, yeah,
thing,
they probably got
the they know.
They'd just be like messing with your radio or whatever.
Right, that's good. We'll let that fly. What you got?
So,
yeah, Reform Labs will let it slide this time.
This is a good one. New York City teachers who refuse to get COVID vaccine. So a judge ruled that they need to have their jobs back.
Let's go.
Yeah, can we? Yeah. Where's Right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Now, how about? So this is a good step. Now, how about we make it to where companies that have over 100 employees, why don't we hire those people back that refused to get? Like, why is it? I'm like,
how about
this is a good step forward.
Nurses that do TikTok videos? I'm like, how about let's go there now?
So like,
but those nurses have to share their woes
and everybody
with the world.
I know a lot of people, especially like the working class people that used to be the demographic of people that would buy Carhartt brand stuff. And you remember whenever this whole thing came out, all the all the construction workers and people who do like hard labor that wear Carhartt stuff started there was videos all over the internet of people burning their Carhartt jackets and hats and stuff like that. So what about those people's jobs? I think we should get back to, if Carhartt wants to save their brand, and I think they should give those people their jobs back and just drop this whole vaccine nonsense across the board.
Well, and do you have any other thoughts on that stuff? If not, then speaking of saving jobs, do we want to talk about Bill Gates and the let's I
think we have an exclusive Reform Labs got in on the deal there.
That is right. We did notice, we saw the deal that was going on, and we did have our press there to witness that
back end deal
that was happening. Yeah, let's.
Lord willing, that footage was not confiscated.
He doesn't exactly buy stock like normal people.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It takes a little more of a lengthy process.
So we got our press because we care. We were in there, and let's take a look at that. I did not know that's what you do.
Why are you gay?
All right, how much did he buy?
I want to know before he got on that stage. I want to know how much he drank of it.
That's what happens when you drink Bud Light.
That is what happens when you drink Bud Light.
There were 2 cases at the beginning of the video.
All right, 95
million. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I heard that story initially, I thought I instantly is he shorting Bud Light right now? But no, he's doubling down. He's trying to buy low and sell high. Is the game plan?
So
it looks
like.
I think he's bought a little too high, if you ask me. What was it? 95 million?
He's waiting for Bud Light to not be gay
I wouldn't have
anymore.
even given them 100,000.
Yeah.
I think he
bought
way too high.
Worst deal.
Yeah. That was the worst deal.
Yeah, it was the worst deal.
You're never gonna be able to sell it. That's what they say.
As Dave Ramsey says, he should have bought that stock when he was 5 years old. If you haven't seen the graphic on Facebook, there's a graphic or a meme or whatever that says a quote from Dave Ramsey saying, the worst decision you ever made was not buying a house when you were 5 years old.
Yeah. Well, how about buying bad stock?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if he's
this is
able
gonna
to
backfire really
I mean,
bad.
if they're able to turn around, it'll be really good for him.
Yeah,
If
they got to
can,
be not gay no more.
If they can,
Bill Gates, he's watching the thing, and they come out with another commercial.
I
and,
set
and
you up
they
beautifully
put
for
another
that, Chad.
transgender on there. And he's like, come on.
come on.
If they have
Sure,
that-
you do for him, but not for me. Come on.
The next Bud Light commercial, and it's ma'am. It's ma'am. But I just I don't see that working. Like it's like he's like trying to save them, but I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he's got some info we don't.
He knows a lot about computers, so
yeah,
we'll see. It's a bold move, Cotton.
It's like he knows a lot about this guy knows a lot about computers, but beer, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
Created the internet. Let's see what he can do with it. You know?
Right? Yeah. He's like, it's just really he was drunk one night and he just look at this button.
Yeah, if they can like come back as like number one, he'll probably make good on the deal.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they come out with they put that one guy on there. I'm not doing no
They should just like put his face on every single like Bud Light case. It's just the
Bill Gates.
I'm not doing no more guy.
Oh yeah.
No, they should put Bill Gates doing this on Bud Light cases.
Yeah, where's the song that was with that?
I don't know what happened to the song.
The audio made it great.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
We'll get to see that exclusive.
Yeah.
But, you have to buy
it was like the United States post 2016.
I don't know
if
what's
you buy into the Patreon stock, then
the Patreon.
Then you get the exclusive song.
Yeah, that was an exclusive.
I just find it funny that like not only is this Bill Gates thing funny, but I find it very surprising that Ellen DeGenerate even still has a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, time out. How is he on the show?
Yeah, like, I thought I didn't even know
we were
that her
behind the
show
scenes,
existed
but on
did they bring?
There might be some holes in this logic.
We dressed up.
Does it?
We literally just said we were women and walked in.
What's wrong with you people?
Does it? Like, does it air right after Jen Psaki's show on Animal Planet?
Goodness.
It's Mammo.
Oh, does Jen Psaki do Animal Planet where she covers Lizzo?
Oh.
That's a lot of circling back, sir.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, Lizzo's just on National Geographic.
No, she's on. No, okay, I'll stop. I'm gonna be the one that gets in trouble. Nope, not going there. All right, let's go to.
Too late, we're already in trouble.
Yeah,
debate.
The debate. So I got some highlights from the debate, and we can kind of comment on them as we go.
Yeah. Let's get ready to rumble with the debate.
Okay, so that's the biggest moments one. Thanks, Chad. Thanks.
Not a problem.
That's the biggest one. Or the biggest moments?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And hey, Chad, we need to capture the original crickets that we got going on in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save us some money. All right.
Where
we spare no expense here.
Is it this one?
We're literally
no, it's not that one.
Yeah, we're expanding into
it's
news
this one.
reporting and
yes. Okay, here we go.
If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Oh yeah, a little late there, guys.
Hold on.
Hold on. So just be clear.
Is his hand like kind of like?
So when I originally first watched this, I originally thought that it was just Vivek and Nikki Haley that raised their hands, and then I rewatched it because I thought it was just two people out of all of them that raised their hands. But I went back
until people started cheering, like, oh yeah,
that's what I was saying. You can clearly see that all of a sudden, boom, the hands go up, and then all of a sudden people start clapping, and then you just see.
Yeah, I think the last guy at the very end is the only one who didn't, or the one on the far left is the only one that didn't.
He was probably like, I don't want to look stupid and then raise my hand now, like these two clowns.
And
Mike Pence.
And I had a friend of mine who is a libertarian. When I was telling him about this, he's like, yeah, everybody who raised their hands up there just basically committed political suicide. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, because Trump's not going to get the nomination because he's nuclear. He's not going to. And I'm like, okay, elaborate on that.
Popular vote.
I was like, I was like, yeah, that's why he's like 53% in the polls right now. He doesn't even have to show up to
prison.
He doesn't even have to show up to the debate. The whole time, like that's just to clarify, the whole time that this debate was going on, Trump was doing an exclusive interview with Tucker Carlson, and it got the Tucker Carlson interview got more views than the debate itself.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
And some people and some never Trumpers are just like, oh, Trump is such a narcissist. He's just a crazy person. He literally went on TV and said that his interview with Tucker Carlson was the most watched thing in the world. And I was like, that's because it was.
Right. Yeah. It makes it really easy for him to say some things when
it's true. Yeah.
Funny thing about facts.
Yeah. Right. All right. Let's go to the. Go on.
Governor Christie, you were kind of late to the game there, but
I'm too advanced.
and I know you didn't.
Whoa. Look, here's the bottom line. Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct. Okay.
He probably shouldn't have ate that taquito before the debate.
You believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong. The conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
Meanwhile, Bill Clinton's over there watching this going, yeah.
Don't want a rematch between Trump and Biden.
False.
And we have
Wrong.
to face the fact that
Wrong.
Trump is the most disliked politician in America. We can't win a general election.
I don't know if that one's wrong, but
Here's the thing. This election is not about January 6th of 2021. It's about January 20th of 2025 when the next president is going to take office.
Look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people.
Yeah.
yeah, he had a rough night.
Mr. Rosenbaum, you would not support any.
I think he won the debate.
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous.
I think he had a lot of good moments. We'll talk about
Across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it. So the reality is,
America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
and you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars that doesn't enter. Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. Hold on.
That is the best.
Already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
That's hilarious.
And the last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
This is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Hey, I have something to say. I have something to say to that one, to respond to her. And God also said that if a woman's in charge, then your country's under judgment. Mm-hmm. It's a clear sign that your country's under judgment.
Did it just go to a whole new video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Now, I will say, with what Scott was saying that he thinks he won the debate.
I think Vivek definitely came out on top with the debate.
A lot of points. What a lot of people commenters were saying is that he made a lot of points similar to what Trump made in the in the past when he won the. What are your thoughts?
I think you're right. I mean, he's definitely campaigning on a lot of issues that Trump campaigned on.
Trump, yeah,
and I definitely think he came out on top. And a lot of people thought that DeSantis was gonna steal the show, because a lot of people have been saying that for years now. Because
I've heard a lot of like everybody talking up DeSantis.
There's a lot of people that talk up DeSantis, and like I'm not going to knock DeSantis because he has done a phenomenal job in Florida. He has turned Florida around for the better, and I think he's a phenomenal governor. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know if he would be a good president. I really don't know if he has the ability to do what needs to be done, and he definitely did
DeSantis?
not. Yeah, DeSantis.
I don't know.
I don't know if he has what it takes to be to run the country, because like especially in this debate you can definitely see because he was very quiet throughout this whole
from what
debate.
I heard about him, from what I seen when I was watching it, I did feel he was really quiet, and I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, like I really thought, because I really like DeSantis. I really felt like a lot of his stuff was like very canned and very stiff. Like it was like almost scripted. Yeah, almost rehearsed or something. Like he didn't have like, because usually he's really good at like going off the fly, like with like reporters and stuff. So I thought his performance wasn't as good as what I thought he was gonna do. Not saying his performance was bad, like and I think Vivek, or how do you say his name?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek, okay. Vivek. I thought he did good. I think he took a lot of hits. Like there was a lot of, because he doesn't have a lot of
he's not a politician.
But
neither was Donald Trump.
Right, and I think that's why
neither was Trump.
Has it going.
And so, when I listen to the things that like the policies that he wants to do, like outside of the debate, I think his policies sound really good, and I really like the idea of. And I'm kind of like feeling a little more towards him. I still feel a little more stronger towards DeSantis, but so I do think there's definitely like going forward, there's definitely like a core set of people to watch moving forward, and like the one that was like the most shocking that I think surprisingly did better, but like I don't think he has a chance to win, and I don't think he's trying to win, is Pence. Because I think he looked way better than what he was initially trying to, and I don't think he's like in it to win. I think he's just trying to like clear his name.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think he's in it to win.
I don't know. I don't really have a very high opinion of Mike Pence, because like he just, especially in this debate, like he just seems like, and like you said, like trying to clear his name, because like at one point in the debate, when they brought up about like him defending the Constitution or whatever, like the camera pans back to him at one point, and he's just like, look, I gotta clear this up. Like, it just sounds like a whiny baby. He's just like, I gotta clear this up. You guys all agree I defended the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, so I think he's just trying to like keep his name good for the rest of his career.
Dad's point, and going on with what you're saying, it does sound like, whine and stuff, because I think his whole goal out there is what Chad was saying, was just to clear his name and not to win.
Yeah, and then Ron DeSantis, really solid, didn't perform too well, but I think he would be like one of the solid core people moving forward.
I can agree with that.
And then Vivek, I think so.
Here's my point for him. All right, here's my point for him. And this is, how I always talk about when doing apologetics and debating, is it is a bad move to personally attack your opponent. All right, going after policies, going after their opinions and stuff, that is a great thing. But normally it's when you don't know what to say to them, you don't know how to stop them and stuff. Most people, and me and Adrian have done talks on this, is they will start going after personal attacks. And that's what I saw a lot of. They kept going, remember he's an amateur, remember he's this, remember he's that. It's like, okay, but what about what he's saying?
That I really criticized Pence for is that the whole we don't need a rookie. This isn't a time for on-the-job training. See, I felt like that was a cheap argument.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When Trump had successful policy coming from that.
Right, and he did a lot of the stuff that he was making a lot of similar points to what Trump said in the past and stuff, and so you kind of feel like he was like piggybacking off of that.
Yeah. So Vivek, I think he's positioned himself extremely well. So I think he's either I think, because like I said, Pence doesn't. I don't think he's planning to even try to win. He's just trying to clear his name. I think Vivek has positioned himself to so if Trump gets arrested or becomes unable to run somehow, he will try to win at that point. But right now, like if Trump runs, I think he's not trying to win, but trying to get a seat in his cabinet.
Right.
If that makes sense. And he's
Pence?
kind of positioned himself to be able to flex either way, which I think is really smart. And then
that is a really smart tactic.
Yeah. So I really like, and I like a lot like I liked him outside of the debate, like because I listened to a lot of different interviews and questions that he's answered lately, and I really like his stuff like outside of the debate. I think he performed better like doing interviews and stuff. But
I would say Ron DeSantis though also outside of that debate, he normally at least it appears
he does like he has really
better.
good speeches. But yeah, I just don't know if he has like the best debating skills.
And that could be a factor too. If you're just not a good debater,
Yeah,
it's not gonna look good for you in a debate.
Right.
But that's why I was like, and maybe they're looking at that now, going, okay, we need to work on that or whatever. When he's at, like doing the campaigns, okay, we need to work on this.
Yeah.
Now, what was the other? What was the burrito man?
The supposed Trump destroyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
exactly.
Yeah.
I think him, like that guy, and like I basically think like everybody else besides Trump, I think they're all gonna just fold. I do think Pence is gonna like, and that's what I was saying. I think the core group moving forward, like, are the people that are gonna keep in the race. Pence to keep trying to clear his name, and then all the rest of them, I think they'll just fall out.
I was gonna say at least like
people.
This year, it does seem like we have like at least half the people up there. It seems like we have good options.
Yeah.
Let's look at though, like the other side. Well, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna bring up. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't the Democrats say that they're not gonna debate? I thought the
typical for that.
Yeah,
side.
typical.
Well, they can't like because Biden's kind of in full control of the DNC, so he's not wanting them to spend any money on the debates, because he's planning on running, and because he is the incumbent, he has that choice. So like they can't really do anything with him saying that he's going to run again because he is the incumbent, and that's like his right to run again because he's our and that's
right. And why
being the president.
It's like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah.
like, come on.
The puppet hand is strong. No.
Yeah, the puppet hand is strong.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But just a fun fact, though, is like I got a kick out of this one. So this debate, one of the members of the RNC, Jack Posobiec, he actually dropped out of it. Like he refused to be a part of this debate. And he instead went to like watch the debate on the Charlie Kirk show instead, because because he didn't like the fact that Fox News, he's boycotting Fox News because of what they did and because of how they handled the whole Tucker Carlson thing, which I thought was an interesting thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. Now, somebody else who I was surprised, and I just blanked on his name, the African American gentleman that was up there too,
Tim Scott.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he was saying though, I thought was pretty decent.
He makes pretty good points.
I don't think he's in the class to go with the power hitters. Or whatever,
he has no chance. He's like he has no chance. Last time I looked at the polls, I think Tim Scott's at like 1.3 or something like that.
But
very
some
low.
of the stuff that he was saying, I was sitting there, I was like, huh. And he was definitely trying to play the Christian card on there with some of the stuff that he was saying.
And so did Pence, though.
Right. Yeah.
Because at one point, like it pans to Pence, and he's like, I think it was on the abortion debate where like it pans to Pence, and he's just like, look, I a few years ago I gave my life to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I was like, okay. I mean, it's just, like he's just pressing now, like,
right? And I think it's because they're struggling. A lot of them are going to be struggling with the whole abortion issue, is because...
And we all know Nikki Haley's view on it.
Yeah, Nikki Haley does... Like,
Nikki Haley's not even there. Like, Nikki Haley and Asa Hutchinson, they were there just for comic relief,
right?
I think.
Yeah. But I think they're going to struggle with that question, though, a lot. Because like we've been saying, we've been going after the pro-life movement now for how long? And I think they're struggling to know where they need to stand on the issue because they made a whole big deal once Roe v. Wade was overturned, and all of a sudden, boom, Roe v. Wade's overturned, so they don't know what to say anymore.
Do you know what Nikki Haley's percentage was offhand?
I do not, but I can look it up though, and I'll let you know when I get to it.
All right. So while he's looking up that, but that's why I think everybody, because I was immediately getting texts when the debate was going on. They started bringing up the abortion question. And it seemed like a lot of them was like not wanting to really answer it, and kind of like trying to either, I don't know if avoid is the right word on it, but I feel like they struggled with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of it is because they don't know where they need to stand on the issue anymore. It's because they're sitting there going, because they kind of want to say, and I can't remember if it was Mike Pence or when I need to go back now, but it was kind of like they were like, it's already done, we already won, we got Roe v. Wade overturned. And just to remind viewers and stuff is abortion is still going on today in Missouri, who was claimed as that banned abortion. Yes, they banned abortion happening in clinics, but you can still do it in the comfort of your home and through the pill, and that's what they're switching it to. And so they didn't completely ban abortion in all those states. Zero. Let's to be clear, zero. There's still abortion going on in the state of Missouri, and all the other ones, and that's why we're continuing to fight for that and to get those laws in place, like the Senate bill SB 356, is because of that. So do you got the numbers?
I do. So Nikki Haley leads Biden 49% to 43%. So she's above Biden, but still below Trump.
She's above Biden. Shocker. Everybody is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's.
Was she that high? Like
that's like as of past few days.
That is interesting.
It is very interesting. I was actually kind of shocked by that because I thought it was still pretty low.
She definitely has she pulling for the woman vote.
Yeah, she's definitely going to get the women.
We need a woman in charge. Then everybody, yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me that she's like over Biden because she is very anti-Trump, and then she's also like kind of like, it feels like she's like a little more rhino-ish. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So she's a little more towards that that left or center,
Right. Well, and she does claim to be, if I remember right, we were talking about this I think in the car, she is pro-choice, if I remember right.
Yeah, she is pro-choice.
Yeah, so she's kind of gathering up all those.
She's like trying to play everywhere, like every field.
Yeah, she's trying to play every card in the deck, and I don't think it's gonna work for her though.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it would work for her in primaries, like if it ever went to presidential, but like she was just gonna get like absolutely smashed in.
Once we get to that.
Yeah, if she ended up on the ticket, she would probably beat Biden, but
I think, yeah.
I think she could definitely beat Biden.
Will she get there?
And that's why I think it's such a weird move. Like what you were saying is Biden has that right to say no debates and stuff. It's look at the do they not realize the numbers? Like you'd think Biden being trying to be a team player and and say, okay, I want to give the people on my side a chance too.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Doesn't because that's what's going on. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do they have anybody else to really put up, or are they really wanting to push the Biden?
I think they're gonna try. Well, I don't know if they're gonna try to push the Biden one. Like I said earlier, when I brought up RFK Jr. I mean, if it were me, I would say that they're probably going to try to push him up once we get closer to that to the actual election. But
right,
I guess we'll see what happens. But I do disagree with Nikki Haley in this, where she said nobody wants a rematch between Trump and Biden. I want a rematch against Trump and Biden.
The most fair election. We definitely want a rematch on that.
Well, I definitely want a rematch for certain reasons that I can't mention on here.
Because he's not going to debate. He's not going to do a debate.
No, he's not going to debate.
Why?
He's going to do another. He's going to do another interview with Tucker probably.
And fall asleep. What were you going to say on that? You said you would like to see, it's not like you were going to say you would like to see.
I would like to see, like, I would rather see like a bunch of people run for president and then just do ranked choice voting. Like that's what I would rather see, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't, like I said, it feels like there's a lot of good, and again, for Christians, not your Christian option, but at least options that can move us up to where we can start climbing up, moving forward. And if, Lord willing, we get those options to be able to give us the freedom for Christians to start putting in, upholding God's law and establishing that, then Christians, we need to not sit on our butt and bomb shelter. We need to go out there and start finding Christian leaders and encouraging Christian people to step up in those positions while we have the opportunity. Let's say we get 4 years with Trump and then we get 4 more, 8 more with another politician. Okay, cool. You don't want to see another Trump again? Fine. You don't want to have a Hindu running in office? Yeah. Then let's not be like what we were talking about earlier of not having the solution to the problem. Let's start bringing the solution for it. Let's start getting Christian leaders who are willing to uphold God's law, who are willing to establish justice, who are willing to do as what God commands, and start pushing for those people to start running in those positions and to getting them in office. That's what we're doing here in Missouri. That's what we're finding here to replace the peoples. When we have Elaine Gannon saying silly things, well, what about the baby in the womb? Well, it's sad. Okay, well, you're supposed to be pro-life, and doesn't say anything for the baby anymore with that. That's why, or with Senator Coleman, and what she was saying is, okay, she's like, you're stuck with me. You don't have the number. You're stuck with me. Okay, well, if you're not going to do this, then we'll find somebody who will. And Christians, that's what we need to start doing. Is we need to start finding the people who will run. Because, yeah, this is how bad it is that we do have somebody like Trump running on there. We do have somebody who is professing a Hindu on there. That's because that's how bad it got. And it got that way, as we talked about, just learn some church history. When we start spreading a belief that says, oh, we're just supposed to bomb shelter, or we don't need to get involved in politics. Why? There's important matters, because any day now Jesus is showing up, so we need to get everybody off the boat. No, we need to start looking, is this a rescue mission to where we need to pull people off the boat? Or is this boat actually going into the docks, and we need to make sure this boat is ready and running when it returns to the owner? And that's what we need to look on that stuff. Is there any other things that you guys want to add in on that?
To go back to the burrito guy. So
that's all I can remember from what you guys
said.
Christie?
Yeah.
The
So
guy?
they asked Chris Christie.
It's Lizzo's brother.
If he would,
sorry,
if he would level with people on the UFO situation, and he started complaining that he had to answer the UFO question, and this is pretty funny. It's really funny stuff.
Do you believe that the recent spike in UFO encounters?
I get the UFO question?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you do.
You look like a UFO.
But hold on. Well, hold on. Pause it really quick.
Sorry.
What the heck?
So I find it funny that like he complains about it, like, oh man, I got the UFO question. He's complaining about getting the UFO question. If they asked him about the flying cheese Danish, I bet you he'd love to answer that. But
oh man, wow.
But
you guys think I'm bad?
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Continue. Yeah, why are you getting upset of that?
People are taking this a lot more seriously, and we're hearing that, there are things going on that people aren't aware of. So, if you were president, Governor Christie, would you level with the American people about what the government knows about these possible
Martha, and especially coming from a woman from New Jersey.
I like how he interrupts her. Look,
I'm over there.
Asked me about unidentified flying objects and Martians. We're different, but we're not that different.
Debatable.
You are a
is
cool
to level
man.
the American people about everything. The job of the President of the United States is to stand for truth. The job of the President of the United States is to be a role model for our children and our grandchildren. And so whether it was UFOs,
is Biden a role model for people who like to fall asleep in the grocery store?
It is if they want to learn a lot about roaches.
And drove them down to an all-time low popularity rating because they were putting themselves before our kids. That is the biggest threat to our country, not UFOs.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here
Hi,
to
Sean.
subscribe.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Shan.
Hey, Sean.
Hi, Shan. Yeah. So on that idea, like I kind of feel for the guy. I know. like
all jokes aside,
why are we talking about UFOs in a political debate?
Right. Right. Yeah. To this point, I know we crack jokes and stuff like that, but yeah, Chad's right on that. To
at the beginning of the video, the last video, you were like, when they were asking the question about Trump. And you were like, why are they asking that question? No, why are they asking about UFOs? Like,
Right,
like Chad said, why are they asking about UFOs in a GOP debate?
Right. I mean, it might just be me, but I feel like they need to focus on, like, you know.
Yeah, they're like, sorry.
No, go ahead. Like, go ahead.
I was just like, they were all talking about policies, and she's like,
yeah,
how about them UFOs?
Yeah, how about them UFOs? And I don't know if it's because maybe it's, you know, like such a scare for kind of people, and that's why we talked about on the last one, is because it was kind of a stir to where people started, you know, asking us questions. What theological position of, you know, how does, you know, the Bible with UFOs and stuff like that, and maybe it did cause enough of a stir for people to where, you know, they're like, do we need to be concerned about that stuff? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's a I feel like it's more justifiable that and you guys can, you know, you guys could give your wrong opinions. No, after that, I feel like it's more justifiable to ask about UFOs than ask about like Donald Trump and, you know, what are the yeah, just
I don't know. See, like Donald Trump, I can understand.
I think asking them if they were gonna still support the GOP's choice if Trump gets the nomination, I think that's a valid question for the GOP debate. I think that's a valid question.
I agree with
I
that.
don't care about UFOs. So that's
Right,
so that's just my opinion.
I feel like
I care about UFOs.
All right.
I find that fascinating.
So
but,
I
like,
feel
I think
like-
it's fascinating, but not for a
All right.
political debate. All right.
Well, and I feel like that would affect, like, and again, correct me if, you know, correct me if, yeah, I will.
You're wrong.
All right. All right, but how does that affect more than if we are dealing with legit alien situation?
I mean, if we're dealing with
If we're dealing with an alien
wait,
situation,
guys.
Well,
right, and that's the thing. Okay, but going because it's, you know, it's up in the air, and a lot of people are saying that. Okay, and that's why I feel like the question was brought up, because a lot of people were concerned, going, okay, this might be, is this actually something like what Adam was bringing up last time? This might be something that we're talking about. So okay, I feel like that does affect people. So how does that, you know, so compared to Trump, how is that not, you know?
Well, Trump's the leading, like leading in the polls,
right? So what?
And
so I guess, and maybe I could be
also-
confused on it. Is so what does it matter if
think
they're for it or you know, or not compared to?
No, I think the reason is that just because of like how this is all being handled, like how the whole Trump situation is being handled. You know, the like abusing the legal system. You know, using these Banana Republic tactics and all that stuff. I think that's the main reason.
Stop talking about bananas. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, go.
Sorry, Adrian.
And that's what I'm kind of. And my mom will send me a text now because I, you know, say something. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Mom. But I guess that's why, because I feel like just looking at it from a alien possibility situation of it, that would seem like it would trump Trump. You know what I mean? On going, okay, what happened with Trump on there? I guess that's why, and maybe just how they worded the question. It just maybe it set that question up for failure.
Yeah,
they should have addressed it as how do you feel about this situation handled? Not are you okay with because it sounded like in the beginning of the question, are you okay with Donald Trump or would you side with the decision for Donald Trump to, you know, run on there? And maybe they should have asked that differently.
So I suppose
I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can agree with that too. But like I think where it makes it a little bit different and where I would kind of disagree was like if it was something like very new and something that's like for sure, because it's something that's like
Right.
it's kind of
up in the air, yeah.
It's fringe, it's taboo still a little bit. It's less taboo than it used to be, but like it's there's nothing for sure. So I'm like, and it's been happening for who knows how long, right? Like they've been saying that since like the 50s, right? So it's not something like extremely pressing like the upcoming election.
Yeah, people have been reporting alien sightings and UFO sightings exactly like you said since the 50s, since Roswell, New Mexico and all that. So like I would agree, it's just not a pressing issue at the moment.
Yeah. But I think it is something that I also do think it's something we should.
Yeah,
I have no doubt in my mind that they know a lot about this situation already. They
more
just
than what
don't talk about it.
And I would agree with that.
And Christians, if you don't know, you can watch our last episode on the Reform Roundtable that talked about this, and we gave an opinion and what we believe that would go along with what Scripture says too, on that. So feel free to check that video out as well. But so where we're standing on that and why we're bringing that up, because that's why I'm like, okay, I'm coming from like their perspective. For me, I'm like, okay, we already shot down what the possibilities are, and it's probably most likely government. But I feel like they should have worded that question a little bit better, because I feel like by them making it more, and yes, it is because it's happening to Trump, but they should have brought it more to the policy of the matter.
Right. I agree with that.
So and that's probably what made me go, why are they asking about Trump? I think they tricked me by using Trump as the main thing of that question.
Right.
Any other clips that you guys have? Because we're running up on time.
I just got one more thing.
All
so I don't know if you guys saw this. I forget how long ago this was, but I stumbled upon it on YouTube, and I thought it was very cringeworthy. But they were talking, like Whoopi Goldberg was talking with the rest of the cackling gaggle of witches at The View. They were talking.
What's wrong with you people?
Perfect. They were talking about the issue of like trans surgeries for kids, and Whoopi used a biblical point. A
biblical,
quote unquote biblical point. So she used a Bible claim for this. So let's hear this.
I want to see this hot garbage. No, that's not what I was talking about. No, I'm just sorry.
I mean, you're half right. Garbage. Come on, play. It's so garbage it won't play. Play.
That as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So
she could have left that as I'm not smart.
I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear. Very clear.
Oh, was he?
I would say this is a new low for The View, but
I would say this is a new low for The View. Can you play that?
Roasted.
Play the Whoopi. I know. I'm sorry, we have to hear her talk again. Can you play that one more time?
Was that the clip you were asking
yeah.
for?
Can you play the clip? It sounds just like her. Can you play the clip one more time so we can make sure the audience has a clear hears clearly what she's trying to say?
surgeries. Take a look.
But my God, this is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide. For my child, what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear. Very clear.
Which begs the question.
All right.
I would
clear
say
about
this
what?
Is a new
Where does it? Where in the Bible does it say?
Right. That is actually, and he brought up a good point on there. And that is in the books that I was recommending you, Scott.
Yeah.
That is a fallacy of what she just made. The Bible clearly and then doesn't, it clearly says, and she doesn't have to make the point. Here's what the Bible says. Okay. A woman shall not wear, and this is in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5, God's law. A woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. All right? That is not talking about God. It's not does God care about really what clothing, the article of clothing? No. What is he trying to say there? Because later on he goes on to talk about that that woman should not go on to wear a soldier's armor and stuff like that. Okay, just because he doesn't want women to protect themselves and stuff. No, is he trying to say what role they are to play?
Right.
And I believe he's talking about the role there. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. There is women cannot be men cannot be women, and they should not try to trick society into to making us adapt that and believe that they are. It is ma'am. No, it is sir, and you need to act like one. Or you should be flawed. No, but you know what I mean. So when I want to I was hoping she would bring up a Bible verse or something. I guess she does in the clip or whatever. Since the first time hearing about it. Sorry, I don't really watch Whoopi. I don't get I don't go to Whoopi for my Bible studies. But so when she says that's a verse that immediately came to mind right when she said that. I'm like, sorry, God's law says this. Where do you get your info from? Where does it's clear? God was clear here.
Yeah. He was clear in Genesis when he said he created them man and woman.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been the fact that we had to.
That was it, and then God had to make a law because to make sure his people, because he's like, you wicked people. He goes, and here you go. And in case you guys didn't get it the first time, also there's a law that says you can't do that. All right, and for even to act so, you are an abomination before God. God's words, not mine. It's any thoughts, comments, concerns.
She's dumb.
Yeah, concerned. She's concerned. She's saying that she reads the Bible.
The view is just a bunch of scuba up propaganda.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
Chad, final thoughts. Thank you.
That's a great thought. We didn't even have to use the shut up
button. Yeah. In all seriousness, any off of that.
Man, right. I got nothing for that one.
Right. All right. Well, final closing thoughts for me is thank you guys for watching this because we'll wrap that up then. With that, make sure you guys check out our other channels. And we appreciate the feedback that you guys give to us and that a lot of you guys are loving the show. And I know you guys have already been asking, what about the Bible studies? When are you guys doing the Bible study? When are you guys doing your Gateway Theology? And we are. All right, we are bringing that back. I already started replying to messages about that. Yep, we are going to be continuing on with our Bible study.
We're bringing the study back
in Deuteronomy, where we're starting off.
How to act.
And then we do have some stuff that me and Adrian have been putting together for our Gateway Theology. With that said, keep on the lookout.
Not me singing, that's for sure.
We do have, keep on the lookout. We have our abolition conference coming up.
Yeah.
And that is, the date is looking like November 4th. We'll tell you if anything changes otherwise, and possibly Jeff Durbin will be out to that one. We'll give more details of that's going on. And we have also the Missouri Baptist Convention that we are also have plans for and going out there to push for the abolition amendments and stuff like that. So we've been busy pushing that stuff together and putting more stuff together so that you guys can have a better experience watching the show with mics and cameras. So with that said, we appreciate all your guys' support. Adrian, if you want to take it from here and tell them where to go to follow us.
So if you want to just read the screen, I'll let you read the screen. Nah, I'll say it. Thank you very much to our cage stager Mimi and the only one, sadly the only one, who partakes in those indulgences. Shame on you, Carol. But thank you still. Thank you very much. This is from our patreon.com / yes, God wills it. / Reformed Labs. That's patreon.com / Reformed Labs.
Thank you guys so much for the supporters on there and that understand our jokes and our humor for that.
We also apologize.
Go to all the links down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, tell us your opinions on what you guys thought of the debate. Who are you rooting for? And tell us, would you have Whoopi Goldberg leading your Bible study? Just wondering.
And,
All right.
and if you say you would let her preach, then you're anathema. But leave comments as well, letting us know what you like, what you didn't like about the show. Audio levels, we're still working stuff out. Sound effects, if you could hear the soundboard. Because if you couldn't, and you hear us laughing at random times at nothing, then you just didn't hear the sound effects.
3 episodes later, we're still working out the kinks.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it happens. That's.
And don't forget to also go back and check out our other episodes if you guys want the topics on God's law. We have teachings on that one. Check out our Bible study for that one and just some of our regular talks. And we also have talks. If you want to hear more about the alien stuff, you can check out last month's video on our Rounders Table discussion about the aliens.
Yes, let's thank Chad. Let's thank Scotty.
Yep. Thank you,
Kanoa,
Chad, for your
myself.
guys' time, and Scott, Adrian, of course, for running the stuff, and everybody else who's supporting. We appreciate you guys. So with that said, Keo Kua Pu Yesu Pu. God be with you. Jesus be with you.
Hawaiian Superman.